So I wanted to talk for a minute about the creative brief and help explain what it's for. So the creative brief is it's written for the creatives, and what you're giving them is just a really quick summary of how they need to create, what they need to write, what they need to create. And the most concise way to do this is to ask essentially three main questions. So you start out with, what is it we're selling? So you probably have an idea of who your audience is and what you're selling, but here's where you need to put it into very clear terms, right? What we're selling. It's the first thing you do. There's this thing up here, I'll tell you about that later. It's what you do last. But what you do here is, what are we selling? And you want to put that in terms that your potential customer cares about, your audience cares about. But for right now, what is it we're selling? Just make it really simple. You can go back and refine it in a bit. But now let's talk about the next question, which is, who's it for? And who's it for tells them about tells the creatives about the audience. What do you know about the audience? Who exactly are we talking to? And there are really two ways to look at it. There's and one's the right way and one's the wrong way. So there's who's it for. You care about the medium, so like the media, right? Like what are we buying? Where are we advertising? And then there's message. So the creative brief is really about the message. And so when we talk about who's it for, you have demographics, but demographics are the language of media. So it really goes with that right there. Message is more who they are. It's more the psychographics. How do they think? What's the problem they're dealing with right now that makes our product the answer? And so the more we can understand that problem, right? So we want to know, what's the problem? And if we can understand the problem, that's message, right? We can send a good message and say, okay, we get your problem. And now here's the answer. So we care about, when we talk about who's it for, sure, if you want to put in demographics, that's fine. Or maybe you're just starting this whole process. You don't even understand what I mean by message. Put in demographics. Just say, females, age, whatever. They're business owners. They, it's Christmas time, and they work in the big city, and they need to go back to their family farm because their grandpa died, or grandpa had a stroke and a close call, and now they want to go back, and they fall back in love with the place they grew up, and we're trying to get them to fall back in love with that place or whatever, right? Our solution is for them, and so that's the message. You miss home, or whatever. All right, so, and then why do they care, right? So you might automatically put why they care in the who's it for, but you'll probably forget, or you'll say, we need them to do this because we need, right? Well, the creative doesn't know what we need. The creative doesn't need to know the marketing challenges or the high level numbers that we're trying to reach. The creatives, all they need to know is why the customer would care. Why this person right here, who's it for, this person who we're talking to, Joe customer or whatever, why do they care about this? And if we can make that clear, why they care about it, what problem they're dealing with and why they care, the closer we can come to that, the better. Because now the copywriter is going to have someone they know they can write to, with a name and a dog and a family. And now this person is real to them, and they're writing to a person rather than writing to a demographic. And so they might have the ideal is, you have a copywriter or a team of creatives, right? All these creatives here, one's a writer, one's a designer, and they're like, oh, we know this person here, oh, that's my uncle. He owns a business like that, and he has the same kind of problems. And oh yeah, he has a dog, and he likes to spend time with his family and all this stuff. And now they know the person, and now they're writing a very personal ad or article or whatever straight to this person they know. And it's going to feel so much more personal. And it's going to hit home, it's going to land, because the person they know is actually the audience, right? And they're going to sound like they care. They're going to sound like they're interested. They're going to sound like someone who's telling their uncle, hey, there's actually this really good product out here. And here's what it is, right? What we're selling. And here's why you should care about it. It's the problem that's going to solve for you, right? Here's your problem, and we understand it. And it's going to solve this problem for you. It's custom made for you for this problem. Okay, and now the last step is you take all this and put it together in the single most important thought, which is basically where you tell the creatives, you know, who's the persona? You know, this person should do this because this, right? So this person, our persona right here, who's it for, should do this, which is the call to action. And then why should they do it? Why do they? It comes straight from here, from why they care. So now you have your whole thing set up, right? This person should do this because, and it'll help them because of this, right? You should drive a BMW with anti-lock brakes because it helps you stop faster in your neighborhood where there are kids playing around. Or if you want to go for values rather than benefits, this persona should drive a BMW with anti-lock brakes because it makes you a better dad and a better neighbor or whatever, right? So the whole point is that you're bringing everything together, you're simplifying it. All right, so what happens if you don't do this? Oh, hey, one other thing. You have to limit it to one page. If you have more than one page going on here, you're probably not doing all the strategy work. You're probably putting strategy onto the creatives because you don't want to do the hard work. And I know that sounds harsh, but you have to do the hard work and you have to make the decisions. Don't put a strategy decision on a creative because then they'll get it wrong and then you'll fire the creative, whether they're good or bad. And you'll get another creative and they'll do the same thing because you haven't done the strategy work. You've pushed it onto them and you're wondering why they don't know what the strategy is or they can't be concise and focused. There should only be one thing you're selling. There should only be one reason. Don't give the creatives a bunch of decisions to make. You do the strategy. Why does this audience member care? Don't say this and this. Anytime there's an and in the creative brief or an or in the creative brief, watch out. You might be introducing two separate ideas that you're now asking your creatives to figure out. Don't do that. They're going to be more creative if you give them a brief that makes sense and is singular in its focus. Who's it for? Only one audience member. Don't tell them all the problems of the audience member. Tell them only the problem, the one problem that's going to be solved by this creative brief. Choose the problem. Don't solve all their problems. Single most important thought. Okay, yeah, we talked about that. Make sure it's singular. Watch out for and or conjunctions. And then we want to limit it to one page. Why do we do that? Because why do you need more than one page to give this information? More detail is not good for creatives. More detail does not help, does not help creatives. Focus helps creatives. Creatives be creative. Okay, cool. All right, that's all I got. This has been just a very, very high-level overview of the creative brief. I'm hoping I can give you guys more to come because the creative brief is easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. So we'll talk to you next time.